all of you and welcome back to our chemistry class. I hope you are all fine. What are you doing in your home? Playing, chatting, enjoying watching TV? Not learning? Yeah, very good. You are good people, you will learn. In last classes we are learning about what we are learning about. We are learning something about elements, compounds and mixtures, and we have completed till what we have completed till what is a mixture we have completed. In the last class we have learned the formation of mixtures. How mixtures are formed? Mixtures can be formed by combining 6 types we have learned. What are they? By combining solid solid, solid liquid, solid gas, liquid liquid, liquid gas and gas in gas. By combining this, a mixture can be formed. What is the next topic we have learned? Yeah, next we have learned about the types of mixtures. As we all know, we are learning from our 6th grade, we know that there are 2 types of mixtures. What are they? The 2 types of mixtures are, yeah, very good, homogeneous mixtures and heterogeneous mixtures. Now these homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures are again classified into 2 types. Can you remember what are they? What are the 2 types of homogeneous mixtures? Come on, say. Yeah, homogeneous mixtures are classified into solution and alloy. Whereas heterogeneous mixtures are classified into suspension and colloids. So, how many of you know what is a homogeneous mixture? What is a heterogeneous mixture? What is a solution? What is an alloy? What is a suspension and what is a colloid? The last class we have clearly seen about all this. What is a homogeneous mixture? The mixture which has the components distribution uniform. The distribution of the components is uniform in a homogeneous mixture. Now say about heterogeneous mixture. It will be not uniform. Then what is a solution? Example for solution. Solution will have a solute and solvent. We all know that. Solution example, sugar in water, salt in water, glucose in water, then acids in water. These are all the examples for solution. Then come to alloy. What's an alloy? How alloy is formed? Alloys are formed by combining metal with non-metal or metal with metal. What should be a metal? This metal should combine with the other metal or non-metal. For example, nichrome. Nichrome is an alloy of nickel and chromium. Almost stainless steel. Stainless steel is an alloy of iron and carbon. So this is alloy. Next one is heterogeneous mixture. As I said already, what is a heterogeneous mixture? In heterogeneous mixture, the distribution of the components or distribution of the particles in the mixture is not at all uniform. The 2 types are suspension and colloid. What's a suspension? Say one example for suspension. Suspension means, consider water. You have a chalk. You have to powder the chalk and put it inside that water. What will happen? The chalk powder will suspend here and there in the water. The distribution will not be uniform. After sometimes what will happen when you allow that water to stay still for some time, the chalk powder will settle in the bottom. So, we all know suspension is a type of heterogeneous mixture. So, the distribution is not uniform. Then the second type of heterogeneous mixture is colloid. Colloid will have 2 phases. What are they? Dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Example, the best example for colloid is emulsion. What's an emulsion? What is an emulsion? Emulsion means it is a it will be both also liquid. It's a mixture. It will contain two liquids, but they both will not mix together. Only physical mixing. For example, consider two immiscible liquids. What is meant by immiscible liquid? Immiscible liquid means both should be a liquid, but it should not mix together. For example, water and oil, water and kerosene. This or both are liquids, but they won't mix up together. In your home, if you have water, you can take some water and pour oil in that water. You can see that oil drops or oil strands differently without mixing, even when you pour inside the water. So this is called emulsion. This is an example for colloidal solution, which is a heterogeneous mixture. Even when you pour this oil in the water, the distribution won't be uniform. It will be somewhere here and there inside that liquid. So, clear about what is a homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture. Till this we have learned in our last class. In today's class, what we are going to learn is a new topic, separation of mixtures. What does it mean? Separation of mixtures. We have learned how to form a mixture. Now we have formed the mixture. Now we are going to separate mixture. For what we need this separation? For what we want to separate the mixture? We are only forming the mixture, right? So, in some cases, in some valuable applications of life, that is in very important things like the salt we use in our home, the table salt we use is not present in the nature in the form what we eat. It is a mixture. How it is present? How it is present in nature? From where we get this salt? The salt is present in sea water. From sea water, we are separating the salt from water using some methods. So, in some cases, it is compulsory, it is necessary to separate the components of the mixture. Now, what we are going to learn is some of the separation techniques. For example, we have formed mixtures using solid, liquid, gas, like this. Many 6 methods we have formed the mixtures, right? So, when you consider any mixture, it will be of this type, solid or solid liquid or solid gas. Now we are going to learn how we can separate this solid liquid mixtures using some methods. Before that, the uses of separating the mixture is given. We can see it. To remove the impurities. How we remove the impurities? Consider we are having rice. In the rice we will have stones also, right? So we will take that stone and remove it. It is a method of separation. That is hand picking. Using our hand we are taking. So it is a separation method. So the separation methods are used to remove impurities, obtain useful components. In case of salt, we have to remove the water and obtain the salt that is useful for us. So, to obtain useful components and to obtain pure samples. In some cases, some impurities will be. We have to remove the impurities. We have to get the pure sample. To get the pure sample, we have to remove the unwanted things from that, right? So, to remove that, we can use this separation techniques. Did you understand about this? For what we use this separation techniques and need for separation? Now we can learn one by one some separation techniques. The methods of separation depends upon the properties of the components of that particular mixture. That is, when you consider a mixture, the separation methods to be chosen is depending upon the properties of the component present in the mixture. For example, consider rice and stone. We know that they both are solids. It is visible to our eye, so we can easily take that stone and separate. So depending upon the properties of the components in that particular mixture, we can choose the method of separation. This is the basic principle of separating techniques. What is the basic principle? The properties of the components present in the mixture is a basic principle of the separation techniques. Now, many separation techniques are there. For example, hand picking, sieving, winnowing, magnetic separation, sublimation, separating funnel method, distillation flux. We have many separating methods. Now, in today's class, we can learn about this 4 separating methods. The first one is hand picking. From the name even you can say what is hand picking, right? What is hand picking? We have to remove the impurities or we have to separate the mixture using our hand. It is possible for solid. If it is a solid, we can remove it using our hands. For example, stones present in rice, stones present in pulses. This can be removed easily by using this hand picking technique. Then the second one is sieving. What is a sieve? We all know, right? In our home also, the floors we will put it in the sieve and we do like this. We can get the pure floor separately and the stones or impurities present in the floor separately in the sieve. This is sieving. In construction fields, they will sieve the sand. There will be a slanting sieve. They will throw the sand. The needed sand will be collected in the down and the impurities will be removed off. So, sieving is another method of separation. Then another method, the third method of separation is winnowing. What is this winnowing? Have you heard this word winnowing? This means separation of mixture using wind. How we can separate using wind? You have any idea about separating a mixture using wind? How is it possible? When we consider some mixture with, you consider a mixture which has weight difference. It depends upon the weight. When the mixture has 2 particles, one is weight and one is less weight. One is more weight and one is less weight. Then we can separate these 2 components using this winnowing technique. What we have to do is, we have to take the mixture and put it like this. When it is coming down, the heavier particles, it should happen in heavy wind area. The heaviest particle will not react to the wind and it will fall directly down. The lightest particle, low weight particles will float in the wind and it will move to some distance and fall. So that we can separate the 2 components present in that particular mixture. Clear about what is winnowing? Come to the next one. Next one is magnetic separation. From the name even you can say this is using magnet. Consider some elements which will get attracted to magnet. Yeah, iron pieces will get attracted to magnet. Pin, safety pin we use will get attracted to magnet. Like this, when some impurities, consider you have a bowl of snacks or something. Unfortunately, you have put some iron pieces inside that bowl. Now you can take a magnet and show it in the vessel so that the magnetic components. That is, the iron pieces will get attracted to this magnet and stick in this magnet, so that you can separate this mixtures. So, these are the 4 methods used for separation. The remaining methods we can see in the next class. So, what are the 4 methods we have learned today? Hand picking, sieving, winnowing and magnetic separation. Just see this, we can see one by one the methods of separation. The first one is hand picking. What is this? It is dal, right? It is a pulse. Some impurities or stone is here. We are removing it using our hand. It is hand picking. Then the next one is sieving. This we all know, in home also our mother will do this, right, to remove the impurities from the floor. We have to take the floor in the sieve and we have to shake it so that we can remove all the impurities from the sieve. And the sieving is also used in construction. In construction, how it is used? In construction, it is used to remove the impurities or the big stones from the sand to make the sand fit for construction. This is the method we have seen, right? This is the method to remove impurities from sand using sieving. Then the next one is winnowing. This is very rare, right? How many of you have seen this? My mother will also do this. When your mother will also do this. When, morning while she is preparing rice, she will take the rice in a material and do like this to remove the dust from the rice. This lady, what she is doing? She is also removing the dirt or the impurities from the required one. It is based on the speed of the wind. The less weight materials will float away and the weight materials, the materials or the component with weight will fall directly down. This is nothing but called as winnowing. This is new for you. This is winnowing. Then the next one is magnetic separation. Magnetic separation is, listen here, see this picture. We have the iron plus sulfur mixture. What's happening? We are showing a magnet so that the iron fillings are getting attracted to the magnet and the sulfur will remain in the vessel. All the iron content or the iron fillings will get attracted to the magnet, so that we can separate this iron fillings and sulfur using magnetic separation. So you are clear about all these 4 methods. So in today's class we have learned about the separation techniques. For what we are using the separation techniques and the uses of separation techniques, and we have learned the 4 separation techniques also. You are clear about this 4 separation techniques. For what we use separation techniques? To remove impurities, to get the needed, that is valuable product, to get the pure sample. For all this we use this separation techniques. Also, what is hand picking? Removing or separating the mixture using hand. Then what is sieving? Using a sieve we have to separate the mixture, that is sieving. Then the next one, the third one, what is that? Winnowing. It is a new word and we all got clear about idea about what is winnowing. Using wind we have to separate the mixtures. And the fourth one is magnetic separation. Magnetic separation, how it is working? Using a magnet. Using the magnet we have to separate the components which is attracted by magnet and which is not attracted by magnet. So using a magnetic separation method should have one component should be attracted by magnet. So in the beginning I said, can you remember? The separation technique we are choosing should be based on the properties of the components present in that particular mixture. So this 4 I hope you are clear. In the next class also we are going to deal with the same headings, that is separation techniques, some other methods, sublimation, flotation, dissolution like this, filtration like this. We can learn about some other separation techniques in our next class. So get ready for the next class. Go through your book. You have to read the book minimum 5 times so that you can understand all this very clearly. Thank you students. We can meet in the next class.